On January 10, 2011, Blizzard enabled custom hotkeys in StarCraft 2. Despite almost 2 years of the possibility of a completely optimized hotkey layout, most professional players are using lightly modified versions of Grid and Standard. TheCore is a community project with the goal of creating the most efficient hotkey layout for StarCraft 2. There are currently over 150 players using TheCore, which span the skill range from Practice League to Pro Gamer. TheCore optimizes individual actions as well as combinations of actions through the use of the following principles. The first design principle we call reaching. The further away a key is from the resting position, the longer it will take to press. In the standard layout, all of the cameras, half of the control groups, and some of the ability keys suffer from unnecessary reaching, making each of the actions that involve these buttons slower than necessary. And while the grid layout may minimize reaching for abilities, it still suffers from the same weaknesses as standard layout for control groups and cameras. TheCore solves this problem through a process we call layering, by utilizing unorthodox combinations of Control, Alt, and Shift. We can place some or all of the cameras on the same keys as our control groups. By analyzing replays from over 2,000 Premier Tournament games, TheCore minimizes reaching even more by placing the most frequently used commands closest to the resting position, and the least frequently used commands furthest away. This is the problem with a grid layout that goes most often unnoticed. Because the commands bound to the keys are chosen by their location on the command card and not by which key will be pressed the most, many commands in the grid are much slower to execute than necessary. The second design principle we call finger repetition. Pressing keys with the same finger in combinations is slower than using two fingers. With a horizontal layout for control groups and abilities seen in both standard and grid layouts, finger repetition is frequent. TheCore solves this problem by vertically splitting control groups and abilities with some important exceptions. Some abilities, like Build Basic and Build Advanced keys, are always or almost always followed by another ability key. These special exceptions are placed on the control group side of the layout to avoid finger repetition. The third design principle is thumb utilization. By using all 5 fingers to their maximum potential, we can create a more efficient layout than when only using 4. Any layout that rests the left hand on the left side of the keyboard is not making full use of the thumb. By resting the left hand on the right side of the keyboard, not only does the thumb have access to 4 keys instead of 2, but the combinations available with the modifiers Control, Shift, and Alt are faster and greater in number due to the large gap between the thumb and the other 4 fingers. While these individual advantages may seem small, it's important to understand and recognize that when they're combined, they will make a significant difference to your potential mechanical ability in StarCraft 2. Any command or combination of commands is faster executed with TheCore than standard or grid, even when lightly modified. Learning TheCore is an investment. It will feel different or even uncomfortable at first, but the more you play with this layout, the more you'll come to understand the advantages of a layout built from the ground up, based in logic and ergonomic, with no traditional thought holding it back. Welcome to TheCore.